As the state pushes for digital innovation, AI copilots bring new possibilities to public sector operations. The next talk by Launch Consulting will focus on the unique capabilities these tools provide for government agencies, from intelligent data analysis to predictive insights. Here's the firm's VP for Technology and Strategy and Architecture. Please join me in welcoming Nick Curia.
All right, hello. That was really exciting here. I can tell there's a lot of passion there, and I think this amazing state's data, even tied down right to the rocks underneath us with GIS systems, is pretty compelling, and it will be even more important in the future. Anyhow, I'm not talking about any of that. Hello, I'm Nick Curia with Launch Consulting, here to talk about some observations about large language models and the advanced capabilities brought by copilots and agents. Now, incidentally, this isn't our first time trying to train models into agents. That attempt was captured in the motion picture you may have seen, Zoolander. That's right. Many people thought it was a comedy. It was actually a richly layered documentary that some suggest was paid for directly by DARPA. I don't know about that, but anyhow, and while that first attempt wasn't a success, we strongly believe that where male models failed, large language models will prevail. Most of this talk is going to be focused around how those advancements in AI will affect our work in government. But before we go there, I did want to share one thought about LLMs generally. It strikes me that large language models and their track of development is following the same course as supercomputers in the 60s and 70s, where you have a relative few organizations investing vast resources in a relative few models. And with each step we take forward, we spend progressively more. I heard that when Sam Altman was first shown ChatGPT, he said it has to be at least 3 times bigger. Now, you may be asking, why scale models? Well, it turns out that just like supercomputers, LLMs tend to get better when they're bigger. And I think we can all attest to many of the conversations here. It is time for generative AI. But seriously, if you had told me that a software company would be blowing the dust off the site of the largest nuclear incident in United States history, just to get their one remaining operational reactor back online to generate the clean energy to train their new model, I would have asked, what Austin Powers movie or crazy alternate timeline are you talking about? Folks, this is our timeline. And while the models are getting bigger, they are also getting smaller. In fact, just like the personal computer revolution, we will all have one of these, probably several, running on our desks and in our hands in the near future. But what does that mean for us in government? Well, the reality is that just like the steam engine, just like the PC, large language models will bring incredible change. In government alone, the use cases are innumerable. Social workers will head to their next meeting with a co-pilot bringing up summarized notes for that case. Citizens will navigate sites aided by agents to help explain complex documents, like navigating eligibility across state programs. Folks who speak English as a second language can review those documents with an agent in their native tongue. We also hear about LLMs passing the bar exams, passing state medical license exams, the LSATs, the MCATs, but still somehow failing high school math. I even heard that ChatGPT was recently issued a driver's license in the state of Arizona. Don't quote me on that, though. In order to get there, we will need to do a few things. First of all of those use cases will generate a raft of new jobs. But in addition, it will cause many existing jobs to change, including starting with those in knowledge work. And one of the reasons, the principal reasons why large language models will have such a strong and pervasive effect is their ability to get coached into new roles. Early computers had punch cards. Smartphones have apps. LLMs have system prompts, context, memory, functions. And applied with intentionality, these evoke agentic behavior. I do not believe we'll all be asked to relocate to Quantico, but I do believe we will each have a fundamental role to play in training these new agents. Let's get a little more specific. My belief is that as we move into the future, government will invest less and less in managing cases at the individual level. Instead, we'll invest more in training fleets of agents and co-pilots to automate many of those functions. Take Freedom of Information Act requests as one example. A pre-trained model will identify the intent and extract the related entities, the scope of the request, the requesters, what have you. It will apply reason to select the functions to call and where to route that request. We're going to design a system to orchestrate all this. And ultimately, a large language model will draft a response, which will be queued for human review. I also see human operators processing incoming calls, aided by co-pilots who contextually raise relevant information and stage helpful actions, with the intention of simply accelerating those to closure more quickly. That's actually happening today, but it'll get better. Now, that all probably sounds great and unquestionably will raise productivity, but something else that's predictable, and we will see it nearly immediately, is that as the large portion of these straightforward cases become automated, human operators will deal more and more with the exceptional and complex ones. Cases where, for example, the solution might feel pretty obvious, but we almost have to work against or around the systems as much as with them to effectuate change. Hopefully that'll get better, but in the meantime, those cases, especially in government, where these cases may provide access to or limit access to critical resources that affect our constituents and their loved ones, those take on heightened importance. And because of our very valuable human trait of empathy, that importance turns into anxiety, stress. And when these exceptional cases convert from happening occasionally to happening back to back to back, we will need to amend our systems and our expectations to replace those forms of support that automation has removed. And lastly, folks, I will share a parting thought. When you will be able to write a book with the push of a button, and even our search engines strain under the glut of auto-generated content, which will balloon the internet, we will have a special responsibility to keep that digital garden aggressively trimmed. Because I don't know about your house, but there is a special feeling in the air when the internet isn't working correctly at mine. We also have a blooming opportunity to delight each other with points that are simply made. Look, here's the thing. ChatGPT will do for the written word what McDonald's has done to food. And I'm not picking on OpenAI or the hamburger, but I am confident that when that happens, humans will generate an enhanced interest for something that's intentionally different, right? Those recipes that take a little more time. So the next time that you invest in a carefully constructed, meaningful message, the people you choose to share it with will be that much more appreciative. Thank you.